Today I want to talk about removing musical roadblocks. But really quick before that, today's patron shout out goes to Chris Piper. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So what are musical roadblocks? Well, much like a roadblock on the road, it's basically something that prevents you from getting to where you want to go to. These happen all the time to pretty much anybody in the creative field. You'll just encounter a point where you feel like you're stuck. You can't go any further. You may have heard of it referred to as writer's block if you're an author. It just basically stops you where you are. It stops you dead in your tracks. And whether it be like a creativity thing, whether it be like a task that you have to do that you really don't want to, the most important thing I think you can do as a musician is to find ways around those roadblocks if you want to, be more productive in your workflow. So the first thing I would recommend, the first way to get rid of these, I would recommend figuring out exactly what those roadblocks are for you. So for me, I've got two major ones. Whenever I start a new project on really any piece of gear, hardware or software, I tend to go to the same exact sounds, the same exact presets, or sometimes I don't even use any at all. I'll just use like a basic like square wave or sine wave or something. And that's a terrible place for me to start. So that's a big roadblock for me. The second big roadblock for me is I often just try to create at whatever the stock tempo of a new project is on whatever device or, software I'm working with, which a lot of times that's going to be 120 BPM. And while there's nothing wrong with 120, it's a very danceable tempo. It's kind of boring. So now that I've identified my two major roadblocks, I want to show you how I've used the Ableton Move to overcome those. So let's go back to roadblock number one, which again is the preset thing. I always use the same sounds, the same presets, and the Move really helps me out here because if I go look at my sets, if I clear a set and load in a new one, it'll randomly give me 4 random presets. I don't have to pick them, they're just there. I've got a random drum kit, got a random bass, I've got some keys, and I've got a concert marimba. Fun. So right there's a creative roadblock just immediately lifted for me. It's completely gone. I'm ready to write. I do know this is a pretty common roadblock that a lot of folks, have a hard time getting over, especially if you're not super into sound design. So I do recommend a piece of gear that can generate maybe not 4 random presets, but at least just like a random preset per track. I know a lot of the Roland gear, you can dial up just a random sound. The Woovebox has a random patch generator. The OPZ has a random patch generator. I'm sure there's many more. And those are just great ways to overcome what is a fairly common musical roadblock. And my second roadblock, like I mentioned, is the tempo issue, where I pretty much just go at 120 or whatever the stock tempo is of the device that I'm currently using. Well, the Ableton Move, once again, helps me get around this with MIDI capture. So I can just start jamming. And if I like what I played, doesn't matter what tempo it was played at, I can just hit MIDI capture. And we're jamming just like that. I can quantize it. There we go. As you can see, I'm just kind of off and messing around now. And as you can see, I kind of just got lost playing with bass line. I think this is feeling like a major key to me, so I'll want to change that. But just like that, I'm already off on the creative process. So removing roadblocks is critical. It seems like such a basic concept, but I don't know if I've ever completely covered it here on the channel. Also, this seems like it might be an ad for the Ableton Move, but No, as I always say in Ableton Move videos, I've never really even spoken to anyone from Ableton. I bought this with my own money. I've just absolutely fallen in love with it as a device. And a big reason is because it removes those roadblocks for me. So depending on what your roadblocks are, you should try to find a piece of gear or software or whatever that helps remove those for you. Again, I only used the Ableton Move in this video to demonstrate my two biggest roadblocks and how I get rid of them easily just using one piece of gear. I got really lucky in that my two major hurdles were solvable by one piece of gear. It might be that your roadblocks aren't something that can be solved as simply as that. So, right now, go into the comment section, leave a comment, let me know what your biggest musical roadblock is. Let me know if you figured out a way around it or not, and if you haven't, who knows, maybe someone else out there has the same roadblock as you and can give you some pointers. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.